Bro, what the hell is going on in this industry? So I just came off from my live stream. We did a cons anvil and the news hit while I was live, so I didn't really get a notification or anything like that because everybody was distracted with what we were talking about on the live stream. But, I closed the live stream, hop on Twitter, and what do I see? Microsoft closes Redfall developer Arkane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks, and more in devastating cuts at Bethesda. And this is just one of those situations that has me question, like, are we just literally milking the developers dry? Is that what we're doing? We're just milking these development teams dry. And the second that they're done creating their projects, their big successful projects, not all of them, naturally, Redfall was not really that successful, but Hi-Fi Rush, I was even talking about Hi-Fi Rush during my live stream. This was one of the best games that came out last year. It was an absolute banger. And the studio behind Hi-Fi Rush, the reward for the absolute banger that they put out is they're getting cut. The amount of layoffs that is happening in this industry is absolutely insane. Like, I would have to recommend that if you are an independent studio at this point, do not sign up to be purchased by a publisher. Like, I understand that there's a lot of, financial machinations that I'm personally not particularly familiar with, but holy crap, are studios just dropping left, right, and center? This is absolutely insane. Staff was told via email, this is an article from IGN, Microsoft has closed a number of Bethesda studios, including Redfall maker Arkane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush, and the Evil Within developer Tango Gameworks, which this one is just like, it's insane to me that the studio behind Hi-Fi Rush is getting closed, and more in devastating cuts at Bethesda, IGN can confirm. Alpha Dog Games, maker of mobile game Mighty Doom, will also close. Roundhouse Studios will be absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax Online Studios. Microsoft, currently valued at over $3 trillion, did not say how many staff will lose their jobs, but significant layoffs are inevitable. IGN has asked Bethesda for comment. Microsoft declined to expand further when contacted by IGN. On Redfall, the disastrous vampire co-op game will not receive promised updates, including an offline mode and new character DLC. As Microsoft has ended all development on the game, Microsoft said Redfall will remain online to play and will provide a make-good offer to those who bought the Hero DLC. So fundamentally, they promised you additional content for Redfall, and you're not going to be getting that Redfall. Now, they say sign up here at Beth Games to receive detail on how eligible players can receive this credit. My recommendation is don't sign a damn thing, because most likely there's going to be some type of clause in there that is going to tell you, oh, by the way, if you sign this, you waiver any right to legal action or anything along those lines. You guys know how this works. So in case people want to organize in the future for a class action lawsuit or something like that, which again, I know that this is probably going to be a pipe dream. I don't know if people are actually willing to organize, but I'm just saying, usually when you sign up for anything when it comes to these types of things, there's usually like a waiver clause in there to be like, by the way, you waive all rights to sue us into oblivion should you regret to sign this thing later. So my recommendation is don't sign anything. Not to mention that whatever they're going to be giving you most likely is not going to make up for the content that you're going to be getting from Redfall. So that would be my recommendation. Arkane Lyon, which is working on Marvel's Blade, survives the cull, as does Bethesda Game Studios' Fallout, Elder Scrolls Starfield, and Machine Games, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Doom developer id Software is also unaffected. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, after what's happened to these studios, Machine Games probably looking at this, so what's going to happen? We're going to release Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and then they're going to cut us? Is that what it's going to do? We're just using these developers as if they're a consumable, like like a discardable, those cameras that you buy that are made out of paper. I forget what they're called, what the term is, but like you get one of those, and then once you take it back to the shop to get your pictures, just like throw that bitch away. Is that what we're doing? But to video game studios, this is absolutely insane. There's so much talent in this industry that I can't fathom, because I just look at the gaming industry, especially in 2023 and 2024, where I've been repeatedly telling people, bro, we haven't had it this good in gaming for so long. And at the same time, I look around me and I just see development teams fall left, right, and center. This is absolutely insane. So anyways, Matt Booty sent out a staff email, because obviously they, that's the way to fire people. He just sent them an email. It's like, well, that's done. You're fired now. Get the hell out. Leave your stuff at the door, whatever. And what he says is that I'm sharing changes that we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. Double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. You want to know what's best positioned for success? Invest in your goddamn talent. Why'd you buy all these studios if you're just going to close them down? How is that reasonable? How is there not another solution that we figured out as an industry where it's like, hey, things aren't working out. Okay, how about you separate from those studios somehow? Why do you have to close them down? So that Microsoft can hoard all those IPs like a fucking dragon? Like, oh my God, look at all these IPs I have. I bought all these studios. I own all these IPs. Are you going to actually make any games from those IPs? Well, we might in the future if we feel like it. No, you're fucking not. You're just hoarding it. Like, God, it's such a disgusting practice. The reprioritization of titles and resources means few teams will be realigned to others and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Here are the changes going into effect. Arkane Austin, the studio will close, with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda. Arkane Austin has a history of making impactful and innovative games, and it is a pedigree that everyone should be proud of. Redfall's previous update will be its last as we end all development on the game. So anybody who supported Redfall, the expensive, editions and all that stuff, tough titties, bro. It's all over. Redfall's the game and its servers will remain online for players to enjoy, and we will make good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC. Do not accept these. My recommendation. Alpha Dog Studios will also close. We appreciate team's creativity in bringing Doom to new players. Mighty Doom will be sunset on August 7th, and we'll be turning off the ability for players to make purchases in the game. Tango Gameworks will also close. This one, I think, is one of the most surprising ones. We are thankful for their contributions to Bethesda and players around the world. Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms it is today. So I actually found this particular post on Twitter as I was scrolling through looking at stuff, and Mako over here brings it up. Remember when Microsoft said this? Microsoft, pleased with Hi-Fi Rush success, plans to reinvest in Tango Gameworks. Well, it was bullshit. Today we announced that Tango Gameworks will close. Thank you to everyone that expanded the worlds we created. Hi-Fi Rush, along with Tango's previous titles, will remain available and playable everywhere they are today. So that was a fucking lie. Yeah, who knows? Who knows if the Hi-Fi Rush is actually going to be available? There's more to this, by the way, so stick around because we still have to go through that Daniel Ahmad tweet, which is very, very interesting. Roundhouse Games, team at Roundhouse Games will be joining ZeniMax Online Studios. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of our recent game launches and bringing them into ZeniMax Online Studios to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean that we do even more to grow the world that millions of players call home. With this consolidation of our Bethesda studio teams so that we can invest more deeply in our portfolio of games and new IP, a small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated. Everybody gets fired. God, oh my God, dude. I still remember, dude. The reason I got into comp sci was because I dreamed of one day being a video game developer. Eventually, somewhere down the road, I ended up going towards this content creation gig, which, to be honest, I'm actually so relieved because holy crap, I might have a couple of struggles here and there, but the amount of people I see getting dropped in this industry is absolutely insane. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified today, and we ask you to please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion. How about you treat them with respect and compassion? What the hell kind of lecture is this? Do you expect the people that have bled and poured blood, sweat, and tears into these products alongside these people that are getting cut to be disrespectful? You're the one disrespectful with this email. You're the one who's not really being particularly sensitive to the people that are losing their goddamn livelihoods. We'll provide our full support to those who are impacted in today's notifications and through their transitions, including severance benefits informed by local laws. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams or the risks they took to try new things, risks that you probably forced them on. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investments in other part of our portfolio and focus on our priority games. Bethesda remains one of the key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games, thriving communities. As we look to the future, there's an impressive lineup of games on the horizon. 2024 alone, we have Starfield, Shattered Space, Fallout 76, Skyline Valley, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and the Elder Scrolls Online Golden Road. As we align our plans and resources to best set ourselves up for success in this complex and changing industry, our teams across Arkane, Leon, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax Online Studios, and Bethesda Publishing and corporate teams will be well positioned to build new IP. I'm sure that this feels great. Like if I'm receiving an email today telling me to clean up my desk, I'm gonna feel really good about the fact that, well, at least Bethesda Publishing and corporate teams are going to be well positioned to build a new IP and explore new game concepts and expand our existing franchises. Wait, I shouldn't say our anymore now, should I? Because I'm no longer a part of the goddamn team. Microsoft's announcements of the cuts at Bethesda come over 3 months after the company announced plans to cut 1,900 staff from its video game workforce. This is also the time, if I remember correctly, where they fired a bunch of people from Activision Blizzard as well after buying Activision Blizzard, which is interesting. Activision Blizzard probably looking at this right now and going like, although Activision Blizzard, they have Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. I think that Microsoft already axed most of the things that they wanted to axe from Activision Blizzard when they canceled like the upcoming survival game and the PvE mode for Overwatch 2 and a bunch of other stuff. It's like, oh yeah, we're buying this studio. Also, we're canceling God knows how many projects from this studio. We were all somewhat relieved. Hey, Microsoft is, getting in there. This might be a good thing. No, we no longer have to deal with Bobby Kotick. Bro, you can't make this stuff up. An industry literally more successful than the movie industry of Hollywood. All right? And look at it. It feels like a house of cards that is about to just fall down amidst two of the most successful years that I've seen in the video game industry. The sheer amount of talent that's been on this play these last 2 years is mind-boggling. How the hell this is happening? This is absolutely insane, dude. One of the best, the launch of Hi-Fi Rush, which many consider to be one of the best Xbox games in recent years. Tweeting in April 2023, Aaron Greenberg, Vice President Xbox Games Marketing at Microsoft, addressed concern that Hi-Fi Rush had failed to meet sales targets, calling the game a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. Greenberg continued, couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. Yeah, right. In a series of tweets, Arkane Leon chief Dinga Bakaba hit out at the cuts, calling them absolutely terrible. So apparently Arkane Leon was one of the studios that survived, and the dude is just like, his head is probably exploding. To any executive reading this, friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment/cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artist entertainers and help them create value for you. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as straw man for miscalculations and blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles, which is what they're doing. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. For now, great teams are sunsetting before our eyes again. And it's a fucking gut stab. Leon is safe, but please be tactful and discerning about all this and respect affected folks' voice and leave it room to be heard. It's their story to tell, their feelings to express. Inside baseball, but if I read immersive sim curse from the community, especially from a fellow dev, I swear to God, please let's talk about the real challenges instead of rehashing irrational anxieties of the past. Even more inside baseball, but with a very, very wide range. As a wise and sorely missed man said, please stop. Layoffs are sweeping the video game industry with a number of high-profile studios cutting staff or shutting down, in stark contrast to a year of blockbuster video game hits. One of the biggest ongoing industry trends in 2023 was the prevalence of mass layoffs, and they have continued into 2024. While actual figures are difficult to obtain, estimates suggest the number of workers laid off in games last year approached or exceeded 10,000, dude. Just imagine how many people that is. How much talent that is basically like uprooted and either lost or shifted around, and now they have to relearn a whole new pipeline of development and all of that stuff. It's insane. A recent GDC survey of developers suggests 1/3 of all game developers were impacted by 1/3 last year, either directly or by witnessing them happen at their company. And here's another thing, right? This from Daniel Ahmad, who I believe is an industry analyst or whatever, director of research and insights at Nico Partners. I analyzed the video games market in Asia and MENA. And he says, it's becoming clear to me that as Game Pass growth has slowed, Xbox is increasingly looking to take an IP-first approach to its consumer-facing business. That's not to say service and platform aren't still important, but that it seems like Xbox wants its games to be profitable as standalone titles. Previously, Xbox was looking at Game Pass as a way to offset development costs for its own first-party titles. Doesn't look like that's the case anymore, and it also helps explain their recent exploration of releases on competing platforms. See, this was one of those situations where a lot of people have always said, oh no, Games Pass is absolutely profitable. Games Pass is phenomenal. I've always said Games Pass is tremendous value for users, but it seems like it might not be as sustainable as one would like. Kind of sucks. People end up losing their jobs. This is absolutely atrocious to see this continuously happen in this industry that I love so much, and to see people, talent, constantly losing their jobs is just friggin' blows, dude. Can we do right by these people at some point, please? Can we do right by developers who pour their blood, sweat, and tears into these games? Can we actually respect, like this? Again, this is an industry that generates more revenue than friggin' Hollywood. We need to stop just looking at the friggin' investors at the top and how we can generate more value for them. No, friggin' take care of your people, please. Follow the example of, I think it was Iwata at Nintendo, where when things went bad for Nintendo, the executives took a pay cut to ensure that the teams could continue to develop their games. Jesus, God, what is going on in this industry?